okay, to procreate our crops. That's what they were doing. So it says this with Osiris. Now listen to this. This is what they said about Osiris. It's called the hymn of Osiris. It said, thou hast made this earth. This is what they were saying. They saying, we ain't going to respect the Most High. We're going to build this, we're going to create this idol. We're going to call him Osiris, who ain't nothing but Nimrod. And we're going to say, Osiris, thou hast made this earth with thy hands, and the waters, and the winds, and the vegetation, and all cattle, and all the feathered fowl, and all fish, and all creeping things, and all the wild animals thereof. The desert is the lawful possession of Sun Nut. So they were saying that Osiris is the creator of vegetation, okay, the creator of the winds, of the cattle, fish, of fowl, everything that exists. Sun, moon, stars, the earth, the solar system, so on and so forth. And this is why the Most High took it personal with Egypt. Babylon did the same thing. Sumer Kingdom did the same thing. Persian Empire did the same thing. The Greeks, all they did was copy from Babylon, even though they took it from Egypt. And they all took it from Satan. So this is what you're dealing with. They all worship the devil. All those idols, where's the power in the shrine? Show me that. Psalm 96:5 said, all the gods of the nations are idols. If you smack one of those idols' heads off, it won't do you nothing. The rent is almost 1,200. Okay, 11 to 1,200 in Harlem. Let me see Imhotep reduce the rent. This is all vanity, like Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 1:1. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. Yeah, they dealt with certain sciences and had science how to read the constellation, but that was common knowledge among the Sumer Kingdom, the Babylonian Kingdom, the Persian Kingdom. That was something that was common among all of them. But I'm going to pass it back to this brother, my brother Karas, but I want to show you one more thing with this myth of Israelite. Okay, even though it don't, well, they're trying to paint this candy apple picture with Egypt like they were some holy righteous people. No, Egypt was wicked. Okay, this is, but then Habur, after the battles, it talks about Ramses III is depicted receiving prisoners in the bottom. Registered files of the Philistine prisoners.
Show them prisoners.
See? Look at that right there.
Show them prisoners.
Talking about Egypt was holy? No, Egypt was not holy. Oh, Egypt was tyrants. Egypt used to pick on Libya. They wouldn't mess with Babylon because Babylon would wax they behind. They used to pick on the Libyans and the Nubians, and they used to raid towns and villages, and they used to cut off the prisoners' penises and their hands.
Bunch of gangsters, man. The same way America's doing now with these multiple wars in Libya and throughout the Middle East and Iraq and Afghanistan and throughout Africa. Egypt, throughout its reign, had multiple wars. So what kind of people were these people?
Enslaved.
Enslaved. They had slaves. They had wars up in Hittite country, the Kassites, the Libyans down there, the Canaanites that was warring with them. I mean, come on, man. What kind of people were these? Yeah, like these are some people who were just sitting back, quiet in the temple, and they was just, you know, looking at the stars and counting the heavens, and that's all they were doing. They were just like the American government now. That's why the Most High compares in Revelation 11:8. We're going to read that in a minute. Where America, the Most High makes it easy. He compares America to Egypt. So you sit back, you look at the history, and look at America. You can really see what they're doing behind the closed doors. They're coming off as the nice, mighty white man, and we're going to save the world, and we're nice. But behind the scenes, America's murdering. They're killing the plants. They have slaves. It's built by slaves. America was built by slaves, but yet we get no credit, as if we're lazy. We ain't doing nothing. We didn't do nothing. We're not going to do nothing. Same the Egyptians did. Okay, Israelites built, and other slaves of other countries now built the Egyptian pantheons and lands and streets and roads. Okay, then they sit back. Well, Israelites didn't do nothing. They weren't even here. You know, same thing the white men doing with us now. Okay, it's constant devil through and through. Okay.
Exodus 9:27. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. The Most High is righteous, and I and my people are wicked.
That's it. Cold. I'm going to read this little, we're going to scriptures now, just authenticate all of this, what we're dealing with, just to go right off what he's dealing with. Isaiah 19th chapter. You can read Ezekiel 30 and 29, but this one really gives you a nice synopsis of how the Most High, through the Israelite prophets who wrote this, feels about Egypt and why Egypt is dust now, why it just scattered abroad, why most Egyptians have converted to their enemies and their invaders' religion of Islam. Because Islam comes from Arabia, the Arabs, who are a different nation, and they conquered them in the 7th century, and now Egyptian Africans are running around Muslim, okay? And they swear that that's of their fathers, and that's the God, and they pray every day to a false foreign God. And they done forgot all about the pyramids are sitting over there. They sitting there. The only ones that go there is white folks and Israelites who want to go there and try to find the Egyptian roots somewhere. You know, try to find the slave master's roots so they can get back to the Egyptian slave master. Okay? You want to run from this slave master here and go back to Egypt. But Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. This can also be translated to what's going to come upon America. Just keep those in mind. Most High made it like that so you can see in this code word type of a metaphoric riddle what's coming upon America. All the idols of America shall be moved when the Most High begins to invade these skies with his angelic armies. You're going to see who's the baddest in the skies. You're going to see the real Top Gun. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Notice this big war going on with America, and the white elites are fighting against white elites in Russia, and white elites down in other lands. And when you had Hitler fighting against other white people in Britain and Poland, these were whites fighting whites. You think black on black crime is crazy in the ghetto. Shoot, we killed dozens, they killed millions. In the First and Second World War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, whites sending whites to die overseas, whites killing whites. When they had the Liberation War, what do you call that, the war down south? I forget the name of it.
Not the Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah. Civil War is a different name for it though. Yeah. Civil War, when the whites and the blacks got mad at the whites in the south, white on white crime. I would say the Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay? Read about Egypt's history. They had little times when they had the internal warfare. Killed each other like dogs. The Egyptians. Same what a white man did. I will set Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. That's what your leaders are doing in America. You think they're sitting down in those meetings with the bipartisan, meetings they're having with the Democrats and Republicans and lobbyists and the corporate guys that are actually running the government. They're sitting there working inside by talking. These guys are praying to demons and devils. They're going to the Pope and praying to black icons. They're doing any demon they can get to help them keep rule over this world. That's what they're doing. The same Egyptians were doing with idols. America has their idols. Okay, and the government, the white elites. See, peon whites, y'all don't know what's really going down. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about your leaders that's actually running this world. They are praying to Satan and not to the Most High. Bohemian Grove. Yeah, we know what goes on there. Down in California, they go there. All the world leaders, mainly white ones, go there to the Bohemian Grove, and they call little young boys, right, to go there too, who the leaders can all have sex with, right? And they pray to an owl, a god called Molech in the Bible. And they still dealing with those old demons of the past to try to evoke the demons to keep control over the world, because they know that Satan, in Luke the 4th chapter, Satan tempted Christ in the mountaintop, and Satan told Christ, look, all the kingdoms are mine if you bow to me, Christ. Christ said, no, I'm not going to do that. What Satan was telling him is Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. When Adam fell, Satan began to rule, and he locked it down with the Greeks and the Romans. And now today, modern day Rome, which is America. So what America done, they call this a land of the free, but you know what? They also freed and loosened the chains that held Satan at bay. That old serpent in Revelation 20 that was bound for 1,000 years, well, the white men loosened the chains. Now Satan has his opportunity to say what he wants to say against the truth, with the truth, around the truth. Freedom of speech, Satan got freedom of speech now in America. Okay, he can say and put it out there. Give faggots rights. A lie should have no type of power to be said in a righteous world. Okay? But in this world, Satan can talk. He can say whatever you want to say. Freedom of speech. You can come in with any religion and idol and it be accepted in America. Whereas a real Christian country, you would never have all these religions all up here. Okay, all this confusion. There was one God in the land of Israel under Solomon and David and all the good kings. When the bad king came on the scene, when the good king came, they kicked all them gods out. But y'all ain't doing that. This is America has never been a Christian country, or Catholic at that. Because Catholicism was started by black Christians, black Israelites anyway. When we ruled Europe. It's a whole different story. I'm going to finish reading here and bring it back to him in a minute. And the water shall fall from the sea. Okay, I'm going to read 4th verse. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be empty and dried up, and the reeds and flags shall wither. Now I equate that to the day, to the famine, pestilence that's going on in America. Same way Egypt fell, became a desert, this will be a desert when the Most High begins to really enact these plagues. The paper reads, by the brooks, and by the mouth of the brooks, and everything that sowneth by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks in defense shall be empty, and the dried up, and the reeds and flags shall wither. The fishes also shall mourn. Look at all the fishes are dying. The oil spilled down there in the Gulf. These fishes are dying. I would not, if I know it, eat anything from that Gulf. It's all got oil in it. The oil is still spewing out in small gushers that I'm telling you about. The oil is still there on the ocean floor. And little fishes are eating it, and farmers are coming out. You see that's not the news no more? Well, they got other news that's going down there, coming on alternative news. Farmers are catching loads of shrimp and fish whose lungs and stomachs are full of petroleum. Okay? We're in that time. The fishes also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brooks shall lament, and they shall spread nets upon the waters that shall languish. Moreover, they that work in the fine flax, and they that weave networks shall be confounded. Meaning that goes to the garment industry. Okay? And they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, and all that make slices and ponds for the fish. Surely the prince of Zon are fools. Zon is an old ancient city of Egypt. It's like the princes today of America, a main city of America, New York, Washington, they're all fools, right? And the council of the wise counselors of Pharaoh, meaning today that would be the president in Washington, is become brutish. Look at the brutish way America rules the world and murders women and children and trains certain elements of the police force to murder blacks in the ghettos. Look at the brutish way they had us in slavery and still keep us in a mental, physical, spiritual slavery here in America. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings? How the Pharaoh gonna come out and say he the sons of the wise? He goes back to ancient kings. Okay? He's the sons of devils and worshipers of the devil. That's all the Pharaoh was. Their gods were idols. They're not sons of any nobility. Coming out of the sons of God who were coming out of Adam and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob were the wise men walking amongst these nations of the Egyptians, the Babylonians, and see the wickedness. But the Most High worked with them and kept the words of the Most High with them, and the ancient tongue was kept with our founding forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, who was amongst the Egyptians, who the Most High took from these men and rose them up and had them keep the word pure as it was from the beginning. Okay, this is what it's talking about.